state of cities. We've been studying cities for nearly 2 decades, and in our experience, we found that the cities have evolved from their erstwhile role of maintenance of the city alone into several facets which they were unheard of earlier. Local bodies happen to be the interaction layer for the citizens, and we have only seen, in its erstwhile role, the cities, although they were always been there for the citizen, but there were hardly any citizen-facing role apart from the sanitation and couple of more functions which were performed by the cities. So the focus on the delivery of citizen services has actually transformed the way cities function. For a citizen, it would mean transacting online in an error-free manner, and for the government or the city, availability of refined data for better targeting and delivery. Cities are innovating and have become more business-like to improve their revenue by way of increasing compliances, reducing leakages, and user charges. This is making our cities agile, alert, and institutions that are adding to the ease of living. So there are 3 things which this panel delves on. 1, what needs to be done to improve citizen-government interface or interaction and ease of living. What possibly are the impediments and how to take care of them? And given the current challenges, how to leverage data and see its functionality across all applications, services, and departments. So we are joined by Mr. Sandeep Malvi, who is Additional Municipal Commissioner and CEO, Thane Smart City Limited. Mr. Aparna Moulik, who is Chairperson of Baranagar Municipality. Mr. Himanshu Singh, who is Commissioner, Chhindwara Municipal Corporation. And Mr. Anand Menon, Vice President, Agra Smart City Limited. So let me first invite Mr. Sandeep Malvi, who holds a master's degree each in urban management, human resources, as well as media and advertising. Quite a versatile personality. Additional Municipal Commissioner and CEO of Thane Smart City, is also a law graduate and MBA from Wellington. So I'm sure these 3 counts, it would not be very difficult for you to come across. Let's leverage from your knowledge and hand it over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity on this platform. I'm really elated to share my experience with all you people. You must be knowing that these are the Digi Thane. You must be knowing because it is a national level recognized project initiated by Thane Municipal Corporation, first time in India. This project is on the line of Israeli technology, and first time only Thane city had initiated this digital platform in the country. And I must say thank you to the corporations for supporting this iconic project. It was inaugurated, the then Honorable Chief Minister and all senior bureaucrats were increased. The main focus of this project was to increase and faster two-way reach between citizens and government, because nowadays it has become a need to create a communication way. That is, it must be two-way communication between, not only between the citizens, but citizens to the businessmen, the merchants. Yeah, so that was the main focus. And fortunately, we increased and faster two-way reach between citizens and city government, meaningful and frequent interactions with the citizens, data collected, and that data is being used for planning and education while implementing new projects, and quicker and higher percentage of online tax collection. I'm very happy to share you that more than crores of rupees we have collected through these apps, because we have given the payment gateway, and so that people can directly pay their tax bills, water bills, property tax bill through this digital platform. And that is the main achievement of this. And the another issue is maintaining informal sectors merchants and digitizing rental merchants for the better city economy, and that we have achieved much. So the first is the digital platform, that is we have created mobile app, content management system for citizens engagement cell, business intelligence engine, help desk, contact center solution, integration with municipal departments. All municipal departments were integrated with this app. and integration with social media platforms, handles, and digital SMS, emails, etc., etc. For citizen engagement shell that consists of project management shell, content management shell, registration management shell, analytics, IT support, help desk. This is the technical information I'm sharing with you. But there are various services provided through the digital platform to the citizens of Thane. That is mainly digital information and services. That is G2C, integrated municipal utility services. We have made available through this app. Just as I mentioned, water tax, property tax, even advertisement tax. Also, people can in coming days we are planning to give this facility that people can pay their advertisement tax through this app. Digitized merchants means we have developed a rapport with the local merchants through this app, so that they can, for example, suppose if someone buy something from this department, they will get the benefit in property tax. So that we are promoting people to use this digital platform for their day-to-day needs. So that was another reason. So local retailers and informal sectors are closer to digital consumers through e-commerce transaction platforms. Interaction with citizens. So we are implementing so many awareness projects, and we are reaching up to the maximum number of the people through this digital app. More than I would like to say that more than 17 lakh people every day we reach through this app. A digital connect between citizens, discussion, forum, blogs, posting, commenting. These are routine activities we are doing these apps. Success indicators. What are the success indicators of this digital app? This registration, more than 286,000 registered users have been brought on this digital platform. Massive reach up to the citizens. As I mentioned, more than 17 lakhs people are sorry, 9.1 crore one-way interactions we have been established with citizens through this digital platform. Faceless governments, 17 lakh citizens interacting with municipality every day. This is the big achievement of this digital platform. Government, non-government awareness programs we are implementing through this, and nearly 15 lakhs Thanekers to find their polling booths. We had been used this app for election purposes also. So that was another benefit this got to the Thane city people. Merchants, 780 people, merchants. I'm not talking, sorry, 780 merchants, existing merchants, partners, and 1100 real-time benefits provided through 1.5 local Thane merchants. These are the registered merchants. These are the shopkeepers are registered with digital Thane platform. And as I mentioned earlier, also better utilization of online utility services. More than 20 crores received from this digital apps in 2019 and 2020, and in 2020 we have received almost 25 crores approximately through this app. So this is another benefit getting to the Thane city people. So directly they can pay there. They should not stand in a queue. They should not wait for a long time to pay their life property tax bill, yeah, water bills, yeah, any other services. So that is another benefit. So the another benefit of this digital app is we use this dashboard for COVID awareness also, and we had created 2-3 important bed hospitality, bed service, online bed service. People can get immediately bed availability on this app, so they can just go they go and they register their names and mobile numbers. Immediately they will get the availability of the bed. They will get the availability of the ambulances where they can get the bed for their COVID patients. This was very easier way to get the facility through digital platform. And I think now it has become a very, very helpful part of the Thane people. So they are very much user friendly with this app. So as I mentioned, in more than 17 lakhs people are using this app every day. So this is a big achievement for Thane city and a city level digital platform. So this app, this platform is recognized by national level government of India. Also, we received a India Smart City Award at the hands of Honorable even SKOCH Awards. Also, we received the India Smart City Award in 2000 by the SKOCH. Then also we recognized by the government of India, and we received the awards from the Honorable Union Minister for this digital platform. So we have received so many awards every year. Even thank you SKOCH for recognizing this year's also. So this is the achievement of this digital platform, and this is a unique. Now everyone started following this. Even other cities are following this kinds of platform to create for the people of the city. So another important project is intelligent transport system (ITS). So I think when I was transport manager, then I initiated this project, and now more or less almost 80% of the passengers who used to travel by the transport TMT, the Thane Municipal Transport, are using this app. They can book their tickets online. They can pay their on the spot. They can pay. We have this facility we have made available to the passengers on board. Facility we have made available. So this is mobile app we have created so that they can get where is my bus. So they can search where is my bus, where to get connected with the route. So this facility integration of ITS with central control center, even panic button is we have implemented. Suppose some female passengers facing some problems, immediately she can push the panic button, and immediately we have created our spots. So immediately they can connect with that bus and they get the relief. So that kind of technology we are using for transport system also. And more than 319 buses are seen on live tracking dashboard. And 107 buses out of 130 buses are LED display boards have been installed. So we are trying to make this facility more friendly, more people, more. That's kind of getting people should be very happily travel by the bus. That's kinds of system. That's kinds of infrastructure. That's some technology we are trying to create, and almost we have created that technology. So another is that is the flagship project of Government of India. You must be knowing that the Integrated Command and Control Center, that is ICCC. That is a flagship project of Government of India under smart city missions. So as other cities, we are also implemented this program in 2021, and we are getting very good support. It is 50 rack capacity in data center and 16 seats capacity in control room, and we have integrated more than 1,600 cameras, CCTV cameras with this ICCC. So integration of city utilities and civic services like water supply, wastewater management, solid waste management, smart street lighting management, environment, city mobility services like transit management, traffic management. These services are connected with this ICCC. So even in COVID time, we had created a war room at this ICCC. So as I mentioned in Digit Thane apps, it was likewise also implemented at ICCC, that which offers services like COVID bed, monitors real-time monitoring of ambulances and hospital space, COVID bed reservations, ambulance assistance, COVID vaccination inquiry, and post-COVID care assistance also was provided by ICCC. So it was benefited during the COVID time, and it was a great help to the people of Thane city. So these are the three basic projects where we are trying to digitize the city so that maximum number of people can use this digital platform and save their time, save their money, and save their energy also. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I would thank you to my chairman and additional chief secretary, Menon sir, And thank you so much for Kunal Kumar sir. He is the Joint Secretary and Mission Director of this Smart City Mission. My Commissioner, Dr. Vipin Sharma, and City of Mayor, Sri Naresh Mashke, who supported me, believe me in me, and give me a free hand to work for a smart city. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll come back to you asking for more during the discussion and Q&A. And
Yes, please. Yes.
meanwhile, let me now move over and invite Mr. Himanshu Singh, Commissioner, Chhindwara Municipal Corporation. It was under his guidance that Chhindwara improved its position in Swachh Sarvekshan, which is done nationally. The city also created nation's maiden Atmanirbhar Ward as a pilot project in addition to providing a place of dignity to transgenders by creating friendly spaces. So there's a lot of work that has happened at the city of Chhindwara. And, on all these counts of making the city livable, not only from the perspective of providing the services, but also the amenities at the same time. It's generally said that it's about improving the standard of living. I think now we need to move on to saying it's improving the quality of living. And a whole lot of efforts which are going on. So let's hand over to Mr. Himanshu Singh and try and understand as to what is happening and what is his perspective.
Yes. Dear all, thank you, sir, for this invitation, which I take on behalf of Sri Himanshu Singh, so who could not, due to sudden exigencies, be available. My name is Raja Venkataramani, and I will try my best to capture the views on his behalf, based upon our continued work with him. The three questions you initially posed, my understanding is what needs to be done to strengthen the citizen-government interface, and particularly with respect to data, and what are the impediments, and how can data be leveraged. Right. Now, I'm very happy that you brought this issue of citizen-government interface, because it is at the heart of what you yourself introduced as the Atmanirbhar philosophy and approach. But I would say it's been a culmination into the strategy, because this whole idea is how do we do the entire end-to-end segregation, management, and processing of solid waste through a novel, we say, citizen, which means community stakeholder ownership model, and which hopefully, if it gets traction, will serve as a model for replication, not only for the city, but across the district initially, across other ULBs. That is the aspiration. But let me take you and give the context in terms of the journey. See, when we started the early stages of Swachh Bharat mission, we had, yes, citizens' involvement and engagement, but to be honest, would call it as a moderate level of citizen involvement on the one hand. And another critical challenge has been, of course, the critical gaps in infrastructure for waste management. So what has been our approach, which has been incremental, but it's now consolidated in terms of this Atmanirbhar, and we'll get into further details of Atmanirbhar and how it engages with the community in particular. So our journey has covered a four-pronged, I would say, strategy. One is, in engaging with the citizen, how do you convert passive engagement into more active engagement? By passive engagement, I give examples like if there is grievance handling based on the Swachhta app, or other we have a call center type of facility. Those are important, but it's still passive. Now, when we say active, it is the more of a mindset issue is how do we convert this engagement into where the citizen also feels accountability, not accountability as in being cornered or being demanded. It's not a policing function, but we have to appeal to the pride. So citizen accountability and citizen engagement, if it can be modeled together, is the aspirational move we are moving towards, and where we feel we have moved up the learning curve. But along with such citizen engagement, which we will give some examples, is you do need to have effective integration with accelerated infrastructure investments. So citizen engagement in isolation is suboptimal. Similarly, infrastructure spend by itself, which has been our earlier learnings, is also suboptimal. But together, it becomes powerful. But plus, it is still incomplete. Plus, when we talk of Atmanirbhar wards, what exactly do we mean? What the whole concept is that if you take a few pilot wards and give them special focus, and when you say special focus, in our case, it has been initially on decentralization of composting, particularly both at community level and at household level. So we initially took 5 wards as pilot and built this up. And when we say we gave focus, it meant that our community engagement, our encouragement, or when we supported door-to-door collection, we spread the messaging. We also did a lot of hand-holding, because many people might feel, if I do composting at home, won't I have rodents? Won't there be smell? Won't there be this? Won't there be that? So there's a lot of sharing of knowledge. It's a process. So, but initially we started with 4-5 wards, and now it is being expanded. And I'm happy to say that these 4-5 wards of about 5,000 households, we have almost complete coverage now of localized composting. So phase 2 is when we're trying to now look at, can we create mini material recovery facility at the ward level? So it is strengthening, and it is moving towards the philosophy of community engagement, where there is accountability also, and there is a community participation. Then the next prong is, having creative alliances and partnering, which can be useful, including for technology and other solutions. And some of them are still works in progress. For example, we're looking at plastics. How do we focus on that? But it is right now itself in a kind of, you might say, it is also there. But initially we focused on the composting element to get attraction. Now, a key part of all this has been 3 elements of citizen engagement, which is, of course, you have to enhance citizen awareness, but there also has to be citizen capacity building, and there has to be citizen empowerment. So in our case, the municipal corporation has also engaged a specific PMU, which it supervises, but it empowers the PMU to actively engage along with the municipal officials. So it's been working together under the municipal officials. So for example, when there is door-to-door collection, the people accompanying, it's called TASU, Technical Assistance Support Unit, will participate in encouraging the awareness, encouraging the engagement, running a whole series of fun engagements also with different stakeholders and different kinds of communities. Then I would like to come back. I forgot to mention one element of this localized composting is that one of the ways we try to encourage behavioral change is that if you are doing segregation at the household level, then the municipal corporation will take all efforts to buy your compost and help distribute to farmers. So that creates a kind of market support. So it is still a work in progress, but it has supported the encouragement. So on the one hand, you're encouraging local level segregation. On the other hand, you're creating a more institutionalized mechanism for composting. So the results of all this have been what? The results of this kind of approach have been, yes, we have moved from ODF to certified ODF++. Our Swachh Sarvekshan ranking has also improved at a all India level from 42 to 29 and hopefully better. We have 100% door-to-door collection and more than 90% source segregation, which has been above national averages. We have been a garbage-free city 3 rank, and we are aspiring that the next 1.5 years, this will improve to number 1. But what is less known is also that we have other recognitions because of our efforts. One is we were ranked number 1 in MP on an internal state level multi-parameter ranking of cities, which included some elements of livability and other aspects. We have also got recognition for our fecal sludge management treatment facility and our composting facility. Now, so we have moved forward in this direction. And in terms of our challenges in taking this forward is this we need sustained and continued engagement with the community, because if you it has to be, these messages have to be reinforced constantly, number one. Number two, in terms of IT and IT enablement, uh, we feel that it is an area where we are working to build further capacity at the municipality level itself. It's a work in progress. Similarly, another work in progress is gearing up for Swachh Bharat Mission 2, with its different emphasis in contracting and other models. So contract management with the private sector is another area of internal capacity building. And last, coming back to data, we can strengthen community participation and make them more accountable when we give community level data, so that, for example, if ward A is a higher level of meeting in a certain parameter, then we can compare to ward B, then they can learn from each other, or we can nudge along some competitive spirit. But that's only when we start giving them the data and make them feel accountable for themselves. But that's a much future aspiration. That's our next target, once we consolidate whatever we are doing. Last is that we focus on these 5 pilot wards, then city. Then the whole idea is that if the district, because Chhindwara is also district headquarters, if the district headquarter does well, it's a good signaling for the other ULBs, and hopefully even in the village panchayat areas. Thank you.
Quite an interesting perspective. Yeah, it opens up, thinking on everyone's part as to, how is it that you did it and what next? Because, whatever road that has been traveled till the point where we have reached, you have conquered the challenges, but it opens the new set of challenges. So, so we'll come to that. But yeah, thank you very much for making those initial comments.
Thank you.
May I now invite Ms. Aparna Moulik, Chairperson, Baranagar Municipality. Yes, ma'am. Please unmute yourself. You're still muted. Please unmute.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes. Sir, good morning, sir. First of all, I convey my heartfelt thanks to the SKOCH Award management for giving me the opportunity to speak few words regarding governance. Governance is the process of decision making and the process by which decisions are implemented. In the 1992 report entitled Governance and Development, the World Bank set out its definition of good governance. It defined good governance as the manner in which power is exercised in the management of a country, the country's economic and social resource for development. Good governance has 8 major characteristics. It is participatory, consensus-oriented, accountable, transparent, responsive, effective and efficient, equitable and inclusive, and follows the rule of law. It assures that corruption is minimized, the views of minorities are taken into account, and that the voice of the most vulnerable in the society are heard in decision making. Not only that, it is also responsive to the present and future needs of society. Importance of governance is clearly inscribed in Indian Constitution, which is built on premise of sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic, committing itself to democracy, rule of law, and welfare of people. Urban governance refers to how government and stakeholders decide how to plan, finance, and manage urban areas. It decides how to make and implement decisions and the extent to which this decision recognized and respond to the interest of the poor. It encompasses a host of economic and social forces. Large gaps often exist between poor and better off urban residents in terms of access of social, economic, and political opportunities, particularly decision making and the ability to participate in and leverage the benefits associated with urban living. According to Slack and quote, urban governance plays a critical role in shaping the physical and social character of urban region. It influences the quantity of and quality of local services and efficiency of delivery. It also determines the sharing of cost and distribution of resources among different groups and affects residents' ability to access local government and engage in decision making. It acts for influencing local government's accountability and responsiveness to citizen demands for the basic amenities like water supply, solid waste management, sanitation, better transportation, better roads and housing, and slum development being essential prerequisites for urban government. Baranagar Municipality in past 10 years has achieved many milestones of success with its novel objective of establishing good governance. Besides bringing about reforms in office administration um, and public services delivery process to a e-governance, it has established evidence of development in all spheres of public administration and governance. One, sir, improvement of public amenities, developments of roads and drains, construction of hospital building, renovation of marketplace, construction of stormwater pumping station, stormwater drainage system, water supply projects, overhead and underground water reservoirs, decorative divider, across BT road, beautification of parks and riversides, arrangement of roadside drinking water, school booth, roadside air conditioned waiting rooms at bus stops, etc. Throughout the Baranagar area. Socio-economic developments are the works done in the sector include formation and operational supervision of self-help groups, uh, running of revolving funds for financial assistance to small scale entrepreneurs, arrangement of skill training for livelihood to weaker section, low cost housing projects. Item 3, sir, solid waste management, implementation of doorstep garbage collection services, solid waste recycling process at the waste dumping field, initiation of segregation process of waste from source, desiltation of swell lines, placement of filtering nets at Ganga River mouth, diversion of Suez Canal, etc. Item 4, sir, socio-cultural endeavors, organizing Chhatro Jubo festivals, arrangement of cultural competition, uh, observation of days of national importance like Independence Day, 26th January, etc. Felicitation of meritorious and successful school students at school level and intermediate exams, organizing book fair and Baranagar Utsav, observation of Aranya Saptah, forestry week. Sir, item 5, promoting social assistance to the common people. This includes running of Konyasri, the dream project of our Honorable CM Mamata Banerjee for assisting girl child to acquire education, Rupasri, Jubasri, Topshil Bondhu, Joy Johar, Manubik, etc. Bring services at the doorstep steps of the dwellers through Duare Sarkar, Paray Samadhan, and Duare Ration project. Running of social assistance programs like Lokhir Bhandar, widow and old age pension, etc. Health services, provisions of outdoor medical services through UPSC, running of maternity hospital, inception of super specialty hospital at municipal hospital through public-private partnership, vaccination of COVID-19, etc. It is our sincere, wholeheartedly, and united effort to the deliver service to the people, stay in close contact and cordial communication with them, and doing our best towards well-being of this municipal area and its citizens, and thus setting a bright example of best governance. Thanks and regards, sir.
Thank you, Aparna ji, for bringing in your perspective and sharing your thoughts with us. We move on to invite Mr. Anand Menon, Vice President, Agra Smart City Limited. He is a project planning and a management professional. Agra Smart City currently is amongst the top 5 all India in smart cities in terms of implementation. And Mr. Menon has over 15 years of experience ranging from smart cities, urban infrastructure, and PPP project structure and infrastructure. So with this, I invite Agra Smart City.
Yeah, so good afternoon to all of you. So here, thanks to the SKOCH team for providing an opportunity for Agra Smart City to present on this forum. So under the Agra Smart City, what we have done is that we have planned and implemented a host of initiatives, which is actually aimed at increasing the ease of living of the citizens. So some of the few projects, like one of our flagship project has been the Integrated Command and Control Center, in which what we have done is that we have tried to integrate most of the civic functions under the umbrella of Integrated Command and Control Center. And as I said, a soldier's valor is actually tested during the terms of a war. During the COVID pandemic, the actual fruits of Integrated Command and Control Center were actually benefited by the citizens of Agra. So whether it be in terms of distribution of ration at the doorsteps, the doorstep grocery delivery, the telemedicine facilities under the umbrella of e-doctor seva, or with the use of SHGs, the distribution of masks among the vulnerable sections of the society, the centralized allotment of beds and centralized call center facilities, the overview and the monitoring of the lockdown from the Integrated Command and Control Center were some of the few examples of the innovations done by the Agra Smart City in actually managing the COVID pandemic. And now I'm happy to say that Agra is now COVID-free. There are 0 active cases in Agra. And ICCC has actually played a vital role in bringing together the various city departments and under a common platform, where, for example, the health, the police, the city administration, the municipal local body, etc., into a single platform so that a uniform command and the uniform decision-making and a faster decision-making happens. Apart from that, in the terms of health, we have set up a unique PPP model of establishing the smart health centers. So under this PPP model, the private developer has established smart health centers at various locations in the city, and more than 186 diagnostic tests are actually given to the citizens of Agra at CGHS rate. For example, ECG at 40 rupees, X-ray at 50 rupees, blood test at 12 rupees. And I'm happy to say in the 1 year since its operation, more than 28,000 citizens have actually availed the benefit of this. For example, we have a pharmacy selling more than 50% generic drugs, which are 60 to 70% cheaper than the outside pharmacy. There is a dental clinic, which is actually set up like a private dental clinic, only where even a root canal costs 120 rupees. So that is the impact by which the low cost affordable diagnostic services is provided to the citizens. We have an ophthalmology clinic over there, which is providing free computerized eye testing and spectacles starting from the range of 40 rupees. So by which we are planning to target the urban poor and the weaker sections of the society, by which they will be also be accessible to the various diagnostic services at the utmost premium quality in this thing. And this is one of the first of its kind that such smart health centers are established on a PPP basis with 0 cost to the exchequer. Then, apart from that, related to the core infrastructure services in nearby the Taj Mahal, we have undertaken heritage walks, beautification of areas around the Taj Mahal, 24/7 water supply projects to more than 18,000 households, providing sewerage connections, then street vending zone. So like that, there is a host of projects that we have planned and that we have executed. Almost 70% of the projects are now completed, and all the projects we are aiming for completion on a time-bound manner by March 2022. And as of now, Agra is ranked number 5th all over India in terms of the overall project implementation. So one of the aspects of city governance, how the smart city has improved, of course, using the integrated command and control center, especially the CCTV cameras that is installed, more than 944 cameras that has been installed, have helped in actually reducing the crime rates of the city. And also one of the pertinent problems even now in the newspapers, which is there, is the environmental pollution. So we have established 39 environment sensors, which actually gives the hourly air quality index in the various places in the city, by which the real-time data is also provided to the UP Pollution Control Board. We are also a part of the India Urban Development Exchange of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So these data sets, which is created from the ICCC, we are actually making it public so that the various researchers, various startup firms can actually use this data and come up with the unique solutions, for example, in solving the traffic congestions in the city or in reducing the environment pollutions in the city. The entire city is also GIS mapped. We have actually geotagged the entire 350,000 residential properties in the city, which enables in the efficient payment of the property tax and all those things. So by which the ease of civic services is what we are aiming in. And through the various smart city functions. Now we are planning to come up with the Mera Agra app, by which under the tip of the fingers, the majority of the civic functions would be available to the city, as well as to the tourists who are visiting the city also. So this is a snapshot of various initiatives and the various steps that we have taken in order to improve the ease of living of the citizens of the Agra. So I would like to stop here and then interact.
So very interesting point, while we are making our respective efforts in improving the ease of living, that has been a long-standing aim of Government of India. Of course, it has to be reflected in the form of either the districts or the cities where the administration works towards ensuring the same. But it so appears that the idea of ease of living has been limited to the perception surveys. We go out, ask people how is it, and there is no a tangible outcomes to prove. This is what naysayers say: tangible outcomes to prove that there is indeed has been improvement in the quality of life and the delivery of basic services. If we talk about the citizen on the one hand or the informal sector on the other, both of them will have different experiences to share. So do you think, in your opinion, this is a question to the panel, a real problem, how do we handle this? So maybe we can start with Agra itself.
Yeah, so it's a very valid and a pertinent question that you have asked. So one of the initiatives with the ministry level which has been taken is that now each of the smart city project is being measured on an output outcome monitoring framework. So for each of the project, there is an output as well as an outcome that is measured. For example, I'll tell you the difference. For example, a 5-kilometer road is constructed. Then that 5-kilometer road is the output. So what is the outcome? Outcome is the ease of traffic congestion or the ease of the movement, the ease of the waiting time, etc. and all. So how that is being done? So that will be basically the outcome of that. So like that, each of the, for example, an upgradation of the school facility is being done. So that facility is the output. Then what is the outcome? Like whether the number of admissions have increased or the pass percentage of the school has increased. So each of those projects is being mapped into a OMF framework, that is output outcome monitoring framework. And it is being linked to each of those SDG goals also. So that is the steps that has been taken. Now, most of the 100 cities have actually put it into a portal. So each city, if you see the host of the projects which they have implemented, what goals of SDG are actually getting met and what are the outcomes. And so the outcomes in every quarter, it is being measured. So once each step is getting measured, then actually it helps in actually measuring the progress also. So that is one of the few initiatives that is being taken by the ministry level.
Mr. Venkataramani. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
At the department ministerial level and collectively across, multiple related ministries. For example, the departments dealing with water supply, the departments dealing with the municipality, and similarly, at a higher level, the continuous effort to improve coordination so that projects get delivered is one element which we are all striving towards. But I just want to introduce one aspect here is Mr. Himanshu himself would be more aware of the government level discussions. I can share based upon our interactions what we are trying to do in terms of improving the ease of living through Swachh Bharat mission. And again, because when we take up multiple things, we may not end up doing justice to other areas. This is our area of competence for which the TASU has also been appointed. But coming to the heart of the matter, I like what Sir said earlier, that is looking more at outcomes and then integrating this outcome oriented framework. Niti Aayog has initiated that. Yes, I still feel there are teething things and how do we do it, and those kind of things are there, but we are moving into it at the state level also. But here again, I feel the key element is the journey. The journey is, one hand, we must improve the infrastructure. On the other hand, we have to continuously continue to work on citizen engagement. And citizen engagement means how do we make the citizen on his own happily feel, also responsible, accountable to the extent it is practically feasible for his, area in his community, while we are building his capacity and working. I'll just take in the area of Swachh Bharat mission. If there is one street where there is littering, now in the adjacent street there is less littering. Now, how do we create a system whereby the community members actually are, can get, you might say, nudged? I wouldn't like to say named and shamed. If these guys are doing better, then why not us? And we as a government can, subtly, give that kind of messaging. But for that, the local communities have to have their local level data. So right now, we are still transitioning where a lot of these programs and other things are government driven. And yes, we are bringing in increased community participation. And SBM2 does talk, and Amrit 2 talks of the need for defining more active participation. So livability will come when government plays its role, but community also actively plays its role. And this is an area of continuous refinement. It's not a one-time, one-shot solution. Along with this, yes, support this outcome-oriented framework. And last is, I want to mention one more thing. The key drivers when we say government, or you might say the municipal officials, the foot soldiers in that sense. Swachh Bharat mission has made a great difference so far in the sense that, rather than feel they were just doing any other chore or work or task assigned, now they are part of an important national mission. Everyone is talking about it. Now, along with this, what we mentioned earlier is continuously upgrade their capacities, particularly in digital project management and managing contract management, engage with a private sector. And in private sector, we're including at one level NGOs. And tomorrow we might also include cooperatives as a possible model, because cooperatives, I think, has not been explored adequately, since they are more like a company. They are a body corporate. They can even act as developer. But these are areas we are partly doing research. We'll have to tread carefully. And we hope collectively through Swachh Bharat mission initiatives will make ease of living to this extent better. And want to just close with one aspect here. Why Swachh Bharat? We came across some reports of, say, Niti Aayog, which said that 70% of our water sources, water source is polluted. And India is facing immense water crisis. Then when we looked at the Swachh Bharat mission, initial document, it said that the major cause of such water pollution is from untreated fecal matter and related, I would say, sewage. I'm combining Swachh Bharat and Amrit together. So we do our duty in this. We contribute a lot to ease of living, including in the public health area.
I take your point. It's a different perspective. Yes, very well welcome. Let me ask Mr. Sandeep Malvi the same question. So what would be your response?
Yes, it's very true that specifically working on this issue is very important nowadays, because implementation of the public utility services at their comfort is most important thing at this level, so that it will be easy when we are talking about the ease of doing business, when we are talking about the ease of living, then these services which has been identified by the government of India under the ease of doing business has to be prioritized at their comfort, because they should not, as I mentioned earlier, the people should not wait in a queue for a long time to pay their property tax. People should not wait to get their birth and death certificate. They should get all this facility online. So that is the only focus area, so that ease of doing business is playing a very, very vital role. And the only solution is IT, digitization of the your all services. So I think this government of India is very much keen to implement this program at their level, and cities, 100 cities, those who are invited for the smart mission are implementing this very rigorously.
Aparna ji, your camera is switched off, so is your audio. Well, actually, while we've been talking of ease of living, we have slightly moved on to the ease of doing business, and particularly for both the formal as far as the informal. The urban planning is extremely important, and that actually leaves the cities divided between the residential and the commercial zones. That's been the case with almost everyone, whether it's tier 1, tier 2 cities, or maybe at some places even tier 3. So as a result, what happens is that there are people who are self-employed as working from home, and particularly during the COVID time, that's even more important. And they are not able to leverage the same benefits as the formally employed workforce / labor force, due to differentiation in policies based on the use of property. So when we have already, you say that you have mapped the properties, GIS mapping is done, your mopping up is increasing, you're getting additional revenue. So to what extent are you really, sensitive to this kind of division between the self-employed people working from home and the laws, the multiplicity of laws, the multiplicity of authorities do not allow that. And on the other side, you have commercial establishments which are eating up into those opportunities. We may start with Agra.
What we have done was that may not be directly related to this question, but I'll just cover that entire ecosystem. So what we're trying to do is that, especially for the economically underprivileged, especially for the women, because our ABD area is the Tajganj area. It is the 2,000 acres situated around the Taj Mahal. So what we did was that when we did a survey, we found out that the workforce participation rate among the women was absolutely dismal over there. And so what we thought was that if some intervention is being brought about by which the women are made the earning members of the family also, and traditionally what exists over there, if we can develop. So then we came across the 7 skill sets over there, like sardoshi, marble inlay, carpet weaving, brush making, etc. and all. So we formed 104 women self-help groups, and first we taught them the digital literacy along with Dell RM, which is an NGO of NM. Then we set up we gave them training on entrepreneurship development programs, and we gave them training on the 7 skill sets based upon the area from where they are belonging to. Now, if you see, their products are listed in Flipkart, Amazon. Even during the COVID pandemic, if you see, there were almost 4 international orders which were actually received by these women self-help groups. Some of the women self-help groups during these festivals have received orders more than 5.5 to 6 lakhs, which was earlier 0. So that is somehow some kind of an economical stability or the economic independence that we are planning to bring in to the weaker sections of the society. Now, compared to the work from home and other things, so what we were thinking of now it is in the initial stages, we were planning to set up the incubation centers by which the local youth of Agra, we can give them training like startup Pathshala and something like that, by which they'll be given training in actually incubating the things, and some kind of co-working spaces, kind of a thing like that, and all, by which that initial setup and the initial the push is being given, so that more of the youth can come into, rather than getting a job, more than being employment providers, kind of a thing like that. So these were the two initiatives that we were looking at. Nothing like that.
Himanshu ji, Mr. Venkataramani.
So, as we mentioned, the strategic approach of Atmanirbhar is ward level community activities. We have started with composting, and we're trying to look at mini, MRF type of activities. In addition, we are trying to engage as far as possible with women-led NGOs and other weaker section-based NGOs. And recently, we are trying to give traction to two activities. Now, these people also, if they are to play an effective role, they also have a need for finance. So, for example, to support mechanized cleaning and certain other kind of things, we are trying to facilitate, handhold certain loan arrangements with the Safai Karamchari Corporation, which is and other similar corporations established under the Ministry of Social Justice, and explaining about certain equipment and showing how they can have a better access to finance. So we are playing this kind of convergence support also. Then simultaneously, what we are trying to do, though this is a work in progress, it has not been implemented, we are trying to look at certain technology options. For example, in the case of a plastic, single-use plastic, and other plastic, how it can be reused. So there we are exploring with the CSIR, and there are flashes of certain firms here and there who have claimed to do work, but how exactly it is. So it is our ongoing research. And we are also supported by our alliance partners in this context. For example, there is the Indian Institute for Petroleum Plastic Waste Management, which is CSIR linked. We have a knowledge partner in FinTrust, which is linked to the United Nations University, which are exploring activities in what they call in the WASH areas. So can we bring some community linked models? Presently, they are working on creating prototype model for new aspirational toilets, they call it, in the Indian context. Initially, they're focusing on what's called eco-san toilets, then they will focus on regular toilets, and this is a design competition. This is an international competition. Then another thing which you would like to do is definitely taking leave from Agra also is we have to look at how can we promote local level, I would say, startup activity, and I would like to say R&D based startup activity. So what can we do? We can offer our working with the government and our place. For example, where we are doing composting, do your research over here. This is your lab, not just in isolated wherever you are.
No,
so we will provide the interlinkages. So this is
you have said something very interesting here. In fact, if you look at the way it's been working so far, is that now all the people, professionals who are in services, that includes maybe a lawyer or a chartered accountant, he can operate from a residential property. But when it comes to anybody else, he has to seek permissions. And when you talk of startup, definitely there will be a whole lot of regulation, which is what they will be hitting against. So that's exactly where it becomes catch-22. While you mean to say that you would like to do that, but the problem remains.
No, we totally agree. But see, because we're working with the government, we can play that bridge in trying to see to the extent possible. For example, if somebody wants to experiment with a faster way of composting, I'm just giving an example, hypothetical example. Then we can take him to our windrow composting yards, and but with taking due permission and due process, and we will tie up also with local technology and other institutes. This is the real lab. That is what we are saying. because to the extent there has been a critique of Indian, I would say, shop floor engineering prowess, it has been that the classroom has been a little isolated from the actual workplace. We are in the digital world. Indians have come far, but in dirtying our hands, we need to, in a careful and calibrated manner, using the appropriate channels, just create a slightly improved environment in this regard. So we don't expect anything overnight, but to be honest, the rate of innovation compared to the potential and need, say in our solid waste and waste management, various elements are perhaps has attracted less interest than how to deliver the grocery better or the latest fintech kind of thing. How do we make this smart? How do we make it exciting? How do we start attracting people? That itself is a process. But we admit there are, mandates and other issues. But we show that unless we engage in this dialogue, that's why I said it is next stage work. And we have started looking at, unless we start engaging the dialogue, once we engage in dialogue through proper channels, I'm sure a way will be found out. But is it happening enough?
Yeah, that's the mood question.
So we want to make it. We're covering 48 wards and we're covering all kinds of exciting facilities, we think. And how do we make it exciting for youngsters to come here? And even, for example, maybe our dump yards and other things, as they are getting remediated, part of it can be made into educational parks to bring the citizens and say, this is what is the issue. This is how it affects us. Having a museum piece in a closed door as compared to seeing on site, and that being integrated with education, and that being further integrated with things that this is how you do composting by yourself and things like that. These are all, small elements. Multiple things like this are there, but we have to structure it, take it forward selectively.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, because a whole lot of progress has already been made towards several of such issues, which is what we've been talking about. But
right. But how do we bring it together, integrate it, support it to give scale? I'm not saying things have not happened. The whole idea is, how do we accelerate? How do we bring it together? Yeah. And one more, broadly want to say one thing is, even with citizens or with our own municipal officers, so when we talk of monitoring, evaluating, the whole thing is monitoring, evaluation, and learning, and a continuous improvement cycle. So that is also in this area of government and community engagement, and including engaging them to take a more responsibility or participate in certain activities, maybe O&M or various other activities.
Right. Okay, great. So it was fantastic, having you gentlemen and the lady on board. We had a good discussion, but as much time as we have at our disposal, I wish we had a little more time, because there are 3-4 more questions coming to my mind, but we keep them for our next interaction. So with this, I thank you all once again for joining us on this discussion and sharing your thoughts with us.